1. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Original Next Level Gaming Podcast. Welcome on this Sunday night. Good to have everybody out.
Hey.
What's going on, Squares?
What's up?
This is
Another day in paradise.
Yeah. Yes, indeedy. Spent my weekend cleaning. Yeehaw.
Nice.
Indeed.
So, well, and getting a little bit of gaming in, but, so, how was everybody's weekend?
Good. Saw the zoo lights. That was nice.
Well, where was that? Washington Zoo?
Yeah.
You like that zoo a lot, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a patron, so, I get my free parking and other stuff. So my daughter loves it, so
Well,
it's perfect.
It's free entry into that zoo, isn't it?
Free entry. Yeah.
We've been in there a couple times.
And now I have free parking, so it's nice.
Nice.
Very nice, very nice, very nice.
The zoo near me puts on a pretty good light show. We haven't been yet this year, but I wouldn't mind getting out there. It was actually just like a USA Today poll had it as number 1 in the nation.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Put on a pretty good show.
Yeah, man. I even though we don't celebrate Christmas, I still love going out and looking at the lights. A lot of people get very creative, and there's a in Baltimore there's a festival of the trees or something that goes on in there that they have a really nice light show. I was thinking about taking the kids to see it. So
Cool.
Oh, sorry, Super. Okay, so what happened last week? So last week I was sick. I'm still, like anybody who heard me on Play and Listen podcast, and I had to like go away from the mic and cough every 5 seconds. If you've been in an Xbox Live party with me this week, and you have heard the crazy cough coming from me, if you hear my nasaliness right now, I'm still kind of got it. Now my wife's got it. So, yeah, that's what happened last week. I didn't have any. I didn't have an energy level in order to maintain the podcast last week. So.
Yeah, I'm glad Coop blamed it on you and not us.
Well,
Yeah.
I get blamed for everything, man. Come on.
True.
It's your fault for wanting to be a dad. I'm sorry.
So, oh man. So, how's everybody's week been?
It's all just kind of passing time for me. I'm on a hold pattern now till I get my new schedule going. So that'll be cool when I get the new schedule. Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, working 4/10s, which will be like 12 on and 12 off. So it'll kind of suck for my those 4 days, but then 3 days straight will allow me to do so much more. Because right now with split days off, I always find myself like recovering for too long of the day from the previous work stint, and then struggling to get things done.
I hear you. And besides, we can go back to our 4-hour podcast.
Yeah, I'm all over it. Because then, it's not like I'm going to be going to sleep or anything.
What's sleep?
What's sleep? Sleep's my old band leader used to say, sleep's overrated. So, it's all right. What's going on? And how about you, Nathan?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
You've seen a couple movies this week. How did you not get into the Super Last Jedi premiere?
I don't know.
I don't either.
But I'm kind of holding out because I want to see it in D-Box. The seats move, so
what
makes it extra special.
What?
Yeah, it's called D-Box.
Yeah.
They put the soundtrack or whatever. The sound is actually connected to your seats, so it doesn't move when nothing's happening. But when something's happening, like the lightsaber fights, it's a lot of fun.
I have never heard of that. Huh.
I experienced something like that with Universal Studios. They did like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing, and also a Terminator thing back in the day, and they had all these neat little effects like that where the seats would move, or like when they did the Terminator thing, it was 3D as well, so it was out in space above you.
That's
And
pretty awesome.
and they had like when it got frozen and shattered, they had like a mist in the air, so you got that cool shattered
So that was
mist. You feel
4D
that.
type thing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The Honey That Shrunk the Kids thing, they said they turned hamsters loose, and they had these like air puffers at your feet and it'd puff against the side. You'd feel things moving against your feet as it went by. It was pretty
That's
cool.
epic.
See, Universal Studios, they have all that cool stuff. Isn't that the one too where they had live actors at the beginning of it?
Yep.
Yeah.
They had a really cool Blues Brothers thing that was, for us old guys. But that was fantastic. I have, if we have 30 seconds on it, or maybe a little longer, I have a great story from there.
Okay.
From the one in California, because the Jurassic Park ride, right? And my sister, I was a Marine at the time and stationed out in California. My sister came from the Midwest to visit and see California and show around and such. So we're at Universal Studios doing the thing and go on the Jurassic Park ride, and you go through the big gate and here's the spitters and here's the thing, and I noticed that like in the ride there's a speaker and there's sound that's supposed to play as things happen, but it's off. So like the timing's not right, and everything's jacked on the timing. It's all effed. And like the scene in the movie where the explorers coming down the hill at them. They're fleeing down the tree, and that's replicated in the ride. There's a big explorer that's winched down, but like it was down, and like the timing was all up, and it's going up. And anyway, we get to the end, and the way it's supposed to work is there's a big waterfall, and you're in this facility, and there's alarms going off, and you're gonna escape in the last moment. It's a big water slide ride, and so the big slide is right in front of the waterfall, and then this Tyrannosaur comes through the waterfall, a big animatronic Tyrannosaur, and he roars at you, and it's all awesome. Well, for us, all that happened like a minute in advance. So we were around in the corner, and we're hearing all this stuff happen, and all played out. So when we roll around the corner, here's the waterfall's all, it doesn't run all the time, so it's just kind of trickle, and you come into the thing, and there's no sound. It all played out, so we're all just sitting there, and then this like sleeping Tyrannosaur, like half of a Tyrannosaur, because he doesn't come all the way through the waterfall, is head down, and he like wakes up, and he does this whole big roaring thing with no sound, looks like a gigantic yawn, and then goes back to sleep. And to our right is the operator's booth, and I look over at the operator and I go, yeah. And my sister's, it was the dumbest thing, but yeah, it was not the best. It didn't come off well for them, but it was the only reaction I could give. Was to be like super pumped about it, and big yawning Tyrannosaur robot thing. I will never forget it. My sister just died, but
when we take the kids to Disney in March, we're gonna spend a day or two at Universal.
It's worth it.
It's good. Those couple of nights during that convention I go to for my job that they rented out parts of that were really, really cool. And I got to ride the Transformers, the ride, which was unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. And I'm not a big roller coaster guy. I'm not a big height guy. But there's an indoor coaster based on the Mummy movie, like the Brendan Fraser, the good one. And the effects inside were so intense. There was literally one point where we rolled up and the cart stopped and the door shut in front of us, and then the door shut above us, and this ceiling of flame, like actual real fire flame, was overhead of us, and you could feel it. It was insane. And then the door opened and it shot you out into the actual, where you're going like this. It was nuts. And you said the Blues Brothers, they I don't know if it's the same show, but they came out and did a set for us on that street right in front of the there's like a main street, like a jazz main street kind of thing. And they came out and did a set was really cool. So I'm looking forward to getting the rest of those rides because I've done Spider-Man, I've done King Kong, I've done Transformers. So now I want to see the rest of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a fun thing. I enjoyed it. The bad draft thing was really cool because you go through and they have like fire races.
No.
Like, it's all
Horrible story about that.
Oh well, yeah. Aside from that, it's pretty cool.
Well, I was like 7, I guess, and my dad was holding my sister, and my mom's like, "Oh, look, it's just fire. Don't worry." Fucking floor drops. I fucking was dead. It was the most horrible thing I'd ever experienced in my life.
There was that. We did this is the California one, so you get the backlot tour. So you got the Jaws pond and the yeah.
Rest in peace.
Nathan now doing his best to make sure we do not get monetized this week. That is the most animated I think I have heard you in a long time.
Oh, it was so scary, man.
Wow.
It was real. Oh, I looked it up. The closest one to you is the Cinemark Egyptian, by the way.
Oh, I know where that is. They have the box seats. See, the closest thing we've got around here are just the recliner seats and the assigned seating. But so
yeah, they have D-Box though, so maybe you'll want to check Star Wars out in that.
I don't know if I want to go all the way to Owings Mills though, or Arundel Mills.
It has to be a big movie that you
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So, but to gaming, what have we been gaming this week? What do we do? I know what you guys are doing right now. Actually, I know what you and Peter have been playing because you guys are like me. Once you get onto a game, you're onto a game.
Yep, multiplayer though.
You still haven't gone. You still haven't gone through the Call of Duty campaign yet?
Oh yeah, we did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We did that kind of at the same pace, and then I ruined it because I was gone for 2 weeks, so he beat me.
No, I beat you before you went.
Oh, thanks,
Oh, no.
thanks, HDK, thanks. I see how.
Maybe. No, I think that was my second playthrough.
Yeah, you're right. You were on your.
Because I was playing it on Veteran. Yeah, that's what it was.
What?
So I beat you playing my second one, and you were still on your first one.
So you guys enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, that campaign is great.
Nice.
The patch is beautiful too. It helps. The 4K textures help when you're trying to shoot someone with a sniper on multiplayer.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah, see, I would believe. See, that's I would imagine that would be when you start draw distancing. When you enhance that draw distance, it's got to be much better.
Yeah, and even just being able to discern things at that distance.
It does.
Yeah,
and people are complaining about FPS, but I'm sure we have an advantage over the people who don't have the X.
Well, I mean, this is something I was saying throughout that whole thing, and not to derail it too terribly, but I really feel like Xbox really was damned if they did or didn't in that situation. There was gonna be a backlash of people who largely don't even own Xboxes, whichever way it came down. If it came down at 30, if it came down at 60, Xbox was going to be wrong somehow. MS was going to be wrong somehow. Either they were screwing the S owners or those poor X owners whose what was it Darren McCarty said? That the Xbox wasn't delivering on the hype. Get out of town with that nonsense. It is absolutely what they said it was going to be. And honestly, anyone who thinks it's one way or the other thus far, I hear people saying it's going to be 30. It's going to be 30 now. No, we don't know that.
We know what it's going to be out of the gate.
Yeah, day one preview. It's going to be 30.
Yep. But they never said this is it forever. No.
Yeah.
No.
I think
CrazyJuan is now on 0 frames per second.
Yeah. Yes, I think. I think Sony got him.
I think so. He's wearing Microsoft because he's wearing a blue shirt.
Oh, this is true. One of those guys got him.
Back crazy.
All right. Well, while we're trying to get him back, I actually got started with Assassin's Creed Origins, and it's coming along. I'm still trying to get totally into it. It's not I might be having a little bit of open world fatigue, or it could just be that I've had this insane ride with Wolfenstein, and
Welcome back.
going back to an open world kind of slower paced game, it may be affecting me a little bit.
No, I think it's because there were no Nazis to kill. That kind of takes the fun out of the game.
Well, I'm playing in Egypt, which
I feel really
also
dumb. What is CDI?
what? Oh, Philips CDI was an old
Interactive compact disc video laser disc kind of thing.
Yeah. One of the few non-Nintendo devices that actually had Mario and Zelda on it. So, but it does play out in Egypt, which also has a little bit of significance to the Jewish people. Not, we were kind of enslaved there for a bit. So, but it's not that. I mean, I like being the Magi, and I like that I like that era, and I like that setup. I think I'm just, it's like, all right, it's another open world game. It's I don't know. I'm working on it. I am working on it, and it's opening up a little bit for me. I'm doing some of the side quests, and the side quests actually don't seem like they are grindy, if that makes sense. Oh, there he is.
Yay! Something blew up.
Yeah, we figured Sony got you.
They did. Those bastards. Just to wrap up what I was saying, I fully expect the frame rate on the X on PUBG to eventually be 60, probably before it comes out of preview, because they didn't really dial it back that far. They just said on the 12th, when it goes into games preview mode, everything's gonna be 30. We're looking to go higher, and we already know that it can do 60. So, there's that. As far as what an advantage that is, it comes down it's 16 milliseconds difference between a refresh rate of 60 frames per second and 30.
That's a difference of people's TVs too.
I mean, less. It's less than that. People's input lag will be greater than that. People's reaction time are a quarter of a damn second compared to 16 thousandths of a second. So, the idea that it's a huge disadvantage is a little bit crazy, and also, it never really is a level playing field, even under the best circumstances. There's always factors. So, there was a lot of concern trolling either way. It's just that headwind that Xbox faces all the time, and that ill will out there of people who just have to be negative about it for some reason. We're talking about people who don't even own Xboxes, and they're talking about how they're suddenly concerned for the poor X or poor S owners, one way or the other. And it's like, come on, you're not fooling anybody. Just like that stupid altruistic thing about submarine people back in the day. Gamers get really super altruistic, really concerned about some other person in their circumstances whenever it's something they can throw at Xbox. So, whatever. But that's a piece of news that happened in our absence, so I wanted to cover on that real quick.
Oh, yeah, it did happen in our absence, didn't it?
Yeah.
Just network latency and internet latency, Sometimes, if you have, bad pings or extremely good pings, you're both having, disadvantages. I have a very good connection. I'm in Virginia, and, on Fios, and, I'm very close to, all the server farms and other stuff. So I have a very good, solid connection. Well, if I pull the trigger and fire at somebody at the exact same time as someone who doesn't have the same speed, I'm always the one who dies. Yep. It's just the way the netcode is written in order to combat latency and other stuff.
Yep.
So talk about fairness,
Well,
I
think
30 and 60, it's just,
But I also think if you're a sniper, draw distance is going to have, a big effect on, and that could equalize. I think we're gonna have to wait till this thing, plays out next year, and then we'll see it.
Yeah, it's true.
But to back up CrazyJuan, I mean, there's so many factors that are already influencing games, even if you have the same frame rate.
Yep.
That frame rate bites, people make it bigger than it seems.
It's really true. The real truth of the matter is, and this is me going back to being a PC gamer back in the day too, more than I am now. I mean, I have a PC, but I don't much game on anymore. Although I might be getting a new one, which could be some cool stuff for more streaming things and retro on PC. So there's hope. But anyway, for decades now, people have been playing video games online with other players in environments that don't have a set spec for the hardware or what it can do, and they've lived to tell the tale. So the idea that it's some infallible level playing field that's going to be sacrificed is just nonsense. And even without the level playing field that is PC or whatever, people still get a lot of enjoyment of playing online. They still do it all these years. So how bad can it be, right?
Yeah, and
I mean, a bigger problem for me is how they're going to integrate keyboard and mouse. I really want keyboard and mouse on my X. I really want to see more mouse-oriented games. I
do not want it on first-person shooter, though.
Yeah.
I think you've got to segregate lobbies for it. I think you've got to give people the choice.
I mean, if you give people the choice, then it doesn't really matter. Although, right. Yeah.
But for so many games like Path of Exile, inventory management in Path of Exile is wonky as F on a controller. I like the game, but inventory management is just with a controller. But with a mouse and keyboard, it'd be nothing.
I think Skitty Skylines and maybe The Sims and other stuff.
Yeah.
If you have a mouse, it's so much easier.
Well, I think if you're doing it for PvP, that's fine. I don't think you have to segregate PvE necessarily.
Right.
Anything co-op.
Yeah.
But it is. This is. I have experienced this once in my life. The Dreamcast had mouse and keyboard support, and I remember Quake 3 Arena. And I mean, I just lit people. Nobody had a chance, and I'm not that good of an FPS player. That I can.
Well, how are you going to make it in Sea of Thieves then?
I don't know. Being that it's a first-person shooter,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I have seen that. I just have seen that difference before, and I think that probably has a bigger influence than anything else. Is going to be what happens when you introduce that, because now you're talking about precision that you don't have. I mean, that's a tangible thing. So
that's a real thing. But they managed it with Shadowrun back in the day.
I'm trying to remember how.
I don't remember the procedure. I can't remember whether they gave a wicked auto aim to the controller-based people, or if they dumbed down the responsiveness on the mouse side or whatever. But they evened it up pretty good, and you could play one or the other and have a chance in that game.
Right. I don't remember how they did it. You're right, but they did not. They did not segregate it out on Quake 3 Arena. I do remember that, and I was nearly unstoppable because I could just by the time somebody spun around to get me, I could pop them in the back very easily, or I could turn around and nail somebody before they had a chance to aim on me. So I do understand that one. So
yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it was a, what do you call it? It's a Captain Kirk's test. What was it called?
The Kobayashi Maru.
Right. It was just evident with the quickness and the vociferousness of the wave of, oh my god, that it was just that headwind. It was just those people out there who just want to have something to complain about Xbox about. It was really, really staggering to me to watch the mass concern trolling over it.
It is Twitter,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I hear you.
And you know what? Look, I find this. I know you say Xbox, but I seem to find it both sides now, like PSX, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. My God, my final post before I went to bed on my final tweet before I went to bed on I think it was Friday night after the PSX show was, guys, this was not a press conference. It was not billed as a press conference. It wasn't meant to be a press conference. And man, you'd have thought that Sony just had nothing. Like they were expecting this to be the third act in the trifecta of E3 / Paris Games Week / PSX and so on and so forth. I mean, and what's funny is a lot of that came out of both camps. It was just really like, my God. So yeah, Twitter is a nutty place. So
yeah, I didn't comment on it much because I didn't. There wasn't much for me to comment on. From everything that I heard from people who were there, it was a great thing to be at. I could totally see that. I would love to sit on some of those panels and such with people who make games that I'm into. But yeah, I saw some crazy predictions from Sony fans about what they expected or hoped to see, and it was like, I don't think they really got what it was about. On the other hand, you've got Xbox guys saying, "Oh, I hear it's lame." Well, of course you're gonna say that, right?
Right. Yeah. You didn't even watch it.
So it is what it is. It's kind of on the same level as the PUBG thing, except the PUBG thing. There was just a whole lot of MS is so bad for treating people this bad way.
Well,
and
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So getting on to PSX. So before I do that, I want to welcome everybody into the chat room, and I want to I actually want to he's in there. He's driving home. We wanted to have the PlayStation Bras on tonight because as I when Thomas was here last time, we said, "Hey man, we got to get you on after PSX," and so. Jay, who is one of the three members of the PlayStation Bras, along with Bra himself and Craven God, he's actually driving home at the moment, so he couldn't be with us. And Thomas himself, he's staying there till tomorrow. So the plan is that we're going to try to get them in next week, and I told Jay that forwarded us pictures and the stuff that they took from the show floor, because while we're just going to talk about what we saw tonight and then go on to the VGAs, I'd really like their perspective of what the show itself was like with with all the stuff going on around them. And I saw some of the pictures they put up on Twitter, and they were awesome. And it really looked like it was a great fan event for people that went and that actually experienced it. And so hopefully next week we'll get them on, and they'll share that experience with us. I also want to give Jay a special shout out. Every once in a while I win something. I get a game here, a game there, something nice. But on Twitter, his name is Kratos. He takes the God of War Kratos name, and his nickname his nickname right now is Santa Kratos, because he's giving some stuff away. And in fact, right now he's giving away or he's getting ready to give away. He tweeted out a picture of a Minecraft Xbox One S bundle that he's going to do something with. I don't know if he's started it yet or if he's going to do it shortly. But I was listening to the PlayStation Bras show last week, and I knew that Kratos was giving away. The Bras were giving away a PSVR headset. So I was listening, and I was expecting at some point to hear the contest rules. You got to tweet this or a Gleam or something like that. And I'm listening. I'm watching TV with my wife at the same time. So Thomas says, "Hey man, we're gonna actually pick someone out of the chat room to win this PSVR." And I said, Channel, I said, pause. I said, I don't think I'm going to win anything, but just pause it anyway. I just want to hear who wins. So, PlayStation Bra says, all right, so the name is The Original Next Level Gaming. And my wife turned to me and said, wait a minute. Is that you? I said, yeah. I was absolutely stunned. So, they're going to send it out to me this week. Hopefully I will have it by the time they get, right, he's kind of old, so he might have had a heart attack. That's right. That's what Bra said. I might have it by the time they come on next week. I was absolutely stunned. And later on, he even said to me, man, when I drew your name, it was totally random. When I drew your name, I said, oh, my God. And I'm like, oh, man. I was like, I was just really stunned. And I just want to give them a shout out because that is just unbelievably generous and cool. And I can't thank them enough. I've been on their show, and PlayStation Brawl was with us a couple of weeks ago. And these are good guys. These are some good people. And I know, look, he'll tell you himself. Jay likes to clown around on Twitter a lot. You gotta not take him seriously. I made that mistake myself, by the way, at the very beginning. I took him seriously, and he's like, "Dude, I'm just playing around." So once you realize that's what he does, then you learn to just laugh at it. But he was that Viper Strike I just saw walk past Nate. But, those guys are really good guys, and so I want to thank them again, and I can't wait to get my PSVR headset. I've already got some ideas of what to get. Like Peter said, Farpoint, like right away.
Yeah.
I might have to get a camera, so we'll have to see. I don't know which headset's coming, but I may have to go scrounge around for a camera. We shall see. But
yeah, I think that's the minimum requirement, I believe, because it has to track your head.
I'm pretty sure it comes with one.
You think?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. It all depends.
That'd be really weird.
You would think that it should. You would think that
and if it doesn't, off with their heads.
If it's a requirement, you would think it. You would think it should. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So I'm just really excited to get it. I'm very grateful, and again, if you guys haven't checked them out, man, go check out the PlayStation Bras. These guys are great, and we'll have them on next week to talk about PSX, and like I said, what their on-field experience is, what it was like inside the the actual area where they had stuff going on. I think one area, Naughty Dog had like a house set up, like the inside of a house and an attic where they had like a Nathan Drake like a treasure hunt or something like that, where you could see cool stuff. I mean, there was some really neat things that I did see pictures of, and of course, our good friend Rick Lagnese from Warhorse Studios was there. Reppin',
yep, I kept seeing his tweets on that.
Yep, reppin' Kingdom Come Deliverance.
He went to a hockey game too.
That's right, he did.
Yep.
He has something to share. He's something to share in common with you.
I know. I told him, he's like, actually, this is my first hockey game, but the other, I guess, is it the developer? I think he went with.
Oh, I don't know.
I have to look him up. He liked my post, but I forget who it was. Tobias.
Oh yeah, he's one. I think he's on the dev team.
Yeah, PR manager. It says.
So he looked like he was having fun, and he just looked like a neat time. So, but I want to talk about I'm going to call it a symposium, because that's really what it felt like. The show that
it looked better than ColecoVision.
It was much better than the Coleco Expo. Let me tell you. So. I
don't think it takes much though to beat that long.
No, it does not. Although I still have the patch. I'm interested, by the way, to see if they come up with another one next year. I am really interested to see if they do.
Are you gonna
another
attend that one?
I don't know. It's going to depend. One of you guys is going to have to go with me. You're gonna have to drive up, Peter.
We can make our own.
We'll have to go together if there's another one. I have not seen.
I think we have to plan for a plan B too.
Yeah, I have not seen. But what's really funny is that as I was tweeting out my experiences with that expo, I got invited to a couple of other ones. Oh, you were at the Clico Expo? You really want to come to ours down in South Florida? It's so much better. I'm like, well, yeah, thanks. So anytime, man. We'll even give you the admission for free. Well, yeah, but I got to get down to South Florida. So, but so watching the, and again, I'm going to call it a symposium because I think that's more along the lines of what the PSX show was on Friday night. People were expecting it to be another press conference. And Sony said a month before, it's not. This is going to be, talking to the developers, some sit-down interviews, maybe a couple surprises, such and such and such. But it wasn't going to be like, it wasn't going to be the third, like I said, the third act of E3, Paris Games Week, and then PSX. And when you look at it for what it was, I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought, it's you'd have to think that live, that would have been really cool to sit and listen to, some of the developers of some of these great games. Talk about their experience, talk about what they're doing, how games are coming along, what goes into making the Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, things like that, and minus the fact that we had to sit through the Death Stranding
short
movie again.
Yeah.
And anybody who could figure out what in the hell that is, good luck. I mean, I know that Sean Layden said you have to play it for 4 or 5 hours and then you figure out what it is, but oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
That was completely...
my theory on it, right?
No.
Okay, so remember we had George Lucas and he made a bunch of cool stuff. Everybody loved it and loved his stuff. And then he got total creative control over it. And we ended up with Jar Jar and midichlorians and
I love Jar Jar.
Kid actors that are bad at it. So I'm wondering if this isn't going to be a Phantom Menace moment for Mr. Kojima there, because people can talk all about how, it's almost like the new Twin Peaks from David Lynch. It was too David Lynch. It lost its Twin Peakness. So, if Kojima is totally doesn't have any, everyone's, like F Konami, blah, blah, blah. But, like I said, when the reins were pulled off of Lucas, he screwed up Star Wars pretty bad. I kind of wonder if we're not going to see the same thing happen with Death Stranding, because it's
well,
it looks like there's just no idea what's going to happen with that. There's no.
Well, according to, and this is one of the things about sitting and listening to what these guys talk about, because he was a guest. He was one of the guys. You knew that they were going to bring him out to talk about Death Stranding. And he Kojima pretty much said the difference was, going with, obviously he was going with Sony. I don't think he was going to do anything else. There was no, you can say what you want. There was zero chance in the world that Kojima's first game out of the gate, sans Konami, was going to be anything but a PlayStation game. There was no chance in hell.
Wasn't that like a question
No,
or anything?
exactly. So it was no surprise that they went with Sony. What I think was a surprise, and to your point, is going to be interesting to see when all is said and done, is that there was no budgeting meeting, there was no pitch. It was like Sean Layden and Kojima at dinner, and Kojima said, "Hey, this is my game," and within like 2 minutes, Sean Layden said, "Okay," gave him a blank check, the whole 9 yards. I'm just saying, that's. Remember anybody seen the movie Boomerang?
Maybe some time ago.
Not you, Nathan.
Oh, okay.
All right. You're too young for it.
We're not talking about Eddie Murphy's Boomerang.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Remember,
Ages ago.
Yeah, remember when the guy who plays the voice of the lobster in Little Mermaid, he's in that movie, and he's one of the designers of the marketing, and Eddie Murphy says to him with Grace Jones, just do whatever you want in the video, just do whatever you want. It's you have complete autonomy. And they get into the pitch meeting for the video, and he shows the video, and it is the most weird, strange, god-awful thing ever made. And they almost fired Eddie Murphy over it in the movie. Yeah, that's the danger of what that's the danger of what Death Stranding could be, because I so far there is absolutely no synopsis of what this game is, other than there's Norman Reedus and his fetus.
Mads.
Yeah.
And Mads Mikkelsen and a baby fetus. And and nobody understand. I mean, don't get it at all. I mean, I don't understand what.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter if that game ever comes out. It's more like a huge PR thing for Sony.
It is. It really is.
And it's people buying PlayStations already in anticipation of the Death Stranding game. Even though that game is not out, and who knows, maybe it's a PS5 game. But who knows? I mean, and I'm wondering if it's just a big. I mean, maybe regardless if the game comes out, I mean, it's a win for Sony.
Yeah, I mean, basically, as long as they can keep trotting them out.
Yeah, I mean, it creates buzz, people talking about it.
Right.
Oh, and they will do that. They will continue to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they bring him on stage still,
He will be on stage
cows
at the
come
next.
home.
He will be on stage at the next 2 E3s. There is
Yeah,
no
yeah.
doubt, no doubt about it. He will be there.
No.
He will be the staple. I am still waiting for that moment when they bring him out on that Roman emperor's throne with 4 guys around, hauling him on their back. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
I remember the first year, or last year's VGAs, not this year's, but last year's, when he came down to the lighted ramp and all that nonsense. I mean, this is just and then this year he came out twice at the VGAs. I mean, and then he gets Norman. Was it Norman or was it Guillermo del Toro that said, "I'll do anything for"? Oh, it was Norman Reedus. I'll do anything for you, man. I'll do anything for this man. I will take a bullet for this man. I mean, this is. Look,
It's reality TV, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is some crazy, sycophantic stuff.
You know what looked great? Detroit.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Let's get on to that, because that. And from what I understand, that was playable on the show floor, and Bra was like all over it. So.
Yeah.
Well,
I think before, the first time, when we saw the Paris convention, I mean, that's, we all got excited about that game.
for what it could be.
For what it could be, or what even what we saw. I mean, it's it's a slice, and
I think what we saw Friday night was incredibly impressive. I mean, first off, it looks phenomenal. It looks Quantic Dream, man. They've got the look of that game down, and it has that iRobot feel to it.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And just the things somebody had said it was like a more in-depth Telltale game. Now I don't have a lot of Telltale game experience. I thought except for like the Tales the Batman, and I did get the Tales from the Borderlands, so I might fire that up to see. But this looked like it was a little more free-flowing, like free movement to me.
Yeah.
Like there was.
I mean, why do they compare it to those Telltale games? Because you have options of questions, and it's kind of steers to. I don't know. That's far fetched, in my opinion.
It did look to me more like. I mean, if I'm going to compare it to anything that I can think of currently, why is it not like LA Noire? You walk around.
Or maybe Alan Wake or something.
Or Alan, you're right, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk around, you get clues. I love that reconstruction piece. Oh my god, where you could reconstruct the crime scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was insane. I mean, that game honestly could be one of my marquee games of next year. I mean, that could be an early game of the year contender.
Yeah, right now for me that's going to be a day bomb.
Yeah.
Just because it's so hot. I mean, it's like don't want to wait too long to play it. So yeah, looks really cool.
Well, and they don't have a real date on it yet, so
no.
We could be looking at. They did say 2018 though.
Yeah, but they have 365 days. So
yes,
it can be any one of them.
December 31st.
Exactly.
I see that, and I know God of War says early 2018, but I feel like that game, and I've been told I'm wrong by someone who would know this, and I'm not gonna point him out because it's not fair. It was a DM conversation, but I have been told that early 2018 means early 2018 for God of War, but man, that one feels so much like a strategic delay into the fall, because that's going to be like their. I think that's going to be their staple game of next year. I mean, as much as we like Detroit, it's still Detroit still feels like it could be a more of a niche game, whereas God of War is going to be
it's a franchise. It's
right.
I still don't get too many hot, fuzzy feeling for that game. Don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't, just because I've never really been into the franchise.
I haven't really felt it either.
But I mean, everybody's talking a lot about it, the fans and other stuff. But I don't know.
I love the mythology thing. It's like that. Those periods of time just. Those are things that I love. I love the mythology theme. Now this one looks a little more like it looks a little more like it's. I'm not sure where the story's going because of the kid, but I'm intrigued by the time period, and I like those third person action adventure games as long as it's not open world. If it's linear, then I'm going to be much happier with it than I think a lot of people will be.
Or semi-linear.
I'll take semi-linear. I'll take semi-linear in that Tomb Raider style semi-linear.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of open world to play with, but you don't just free
You kind of
roam the
steer,
land.
kind of funnel to,
Yeah, you don't just free roam the land.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy with that. I'll be happy with that. So they talked about that. They and they kind of needled the developer a little bit about it, which I thought was funny about getting the game finished. I did find it interesting that they said that that you were looking at 25 to 30 hours of gameplay with that game. I'd like to know what that means. I mean, obviously it means 25 30 hours, but how big is that game?
Could mean you have to play it on easy, normal, and hard mode.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'd be stunned if that's not inflated a touch.
That's funny. Well,
I mean, it all depends. I don't know if it has like side quests and other stuff, so that could add to it.
well, and well, we won't know probably. My understanding was there was not a playable demo at PSX. Now, I don't think that there was a
For what?
for God of War. I don't think
No, there
was
wasn't. Detroit was.
There
I
was
think
for Detroit,
was.
right?
There was another one, but I forget what it was. So guess it wasn't that important.
So,
And don't take that as a console warrior, guys.
oh yeah. By the way, you need to make your quick announcement. We saved your announcement for you saying it. We were gonna spill the beans on this last week, or 2 weeks ago, but we did not. So, Nathan, you may announce your.
I'm a trader to Xbox. I have a PlayStation now. So
Boo this man. No, I don't care. That's cool.
See,
I couldn't pass up $150. That's stupid to not be able to be both console people for only $150.
Welcome to the fold.
And I know CrazyJuan has a Switch, so he went with the Switch instead of that, and that's okay too.
That's right. It's whatever you want to game on.
I just like Detroit. I was looking forward to, and I wanted to play the Kingdom Hearts again before 3 came out.
Not a bad reason. Not a bad reason at all.
But I will get 3 on the Xbox, not PlayStation.
There really isn't any kind of bad reason ever. I'm just not the type who's going to, judge someone for what they spend on. It's their money.
Yeah, you can't. You're right. You can't tell people.
Dude, you're a nice dude. They just think you're a main dude.
Yeah, I have a reputation to maintain, so keep that on the.
Yeah, we can't have people thinking you're actually nice or normal.
Yeah. Yeah, someone told me someone told me today, no less, that I harassed a developer for 3 years. A developer now.
Oh, now it's a developer?
I guess. I don't know. Some nobody. I've never seen him in my life on Twitter. Is like, you're that guy that harassed a developer for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm like,
3 years.
Like, okay. It's like, for over 3 years, man. In that time, you could have gone on a diet or done some exercise or something. Looking at
there we go.
I'm like,
There
okay,
we go.
there's the low-hanging fruit. Awesome.
Yeah.
And hey, Tiger, when you get old, you'll see how it works.
Oh,
I doubted it too when I was a young man, but as it goes,
They didn't give you a 30-day gym membership for free, no?
No, right. So, dude, it's whatever.
It just goes to show you, Twitter is horrible.
It really is. I had to chuckle. Like, okay, Tiger.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
it looks like the biggest game was Detroit is the only one playable. God of War was not, Spider-Man wasn't, and neither was Days Gone.
They didn't even talk about Days Gone at PSX. At least at the they
just released a YouTube video after, which was kind of weird.
Same thing with Spider-Man. They did not talk. They didn't bring Insomniac out. They didn't,
They didn't show anything, right?
No, they did not. Now they did show.
They have Far Cry 5 there, which
yeah,
I'm surprised because it got pushed back.
Well, they still have it there.
Yeah, but it's playable.
Well, there has to be a vertical slice of it available. I mean, if they pushed it back, but it doesn't mean it's not somewhat playable. See, I
That's
thought
true.
that at E3 they said that God of War was pretty much done as far as the
Yeah.
the game. So
What
They
they said
did.
was they had a playable build, which could mean a lot of things.
yeah. Well, so anyway, so what I'm trying to say. So one of the others, they did focus a bit on some VR, and we did get some VR news at the symposium, which I thought was really cool. And one of those was Wipeout is getting a VR mode. So I am stoked for that. Very, very stoked for that. For those who like Rick and Morty, there is a Rick and Morty game coming to PSVR
In VR, right?
in VR. They showed a trailer for a game about two dolphins called Jupiter and Mars. They showed a game called Donut Country or Donut County. I'm sorry, Donut County.
Yeah.
Which to me looked like, it was really funny. It looked like and you may not know this either, Nathan, as young as you are. Who
Okay.
remembers Katamari Damacy?
Yeah, it's a rolling thing, right?
Yeah, it was it was a bizarro game, but you basically rolled up pieces of things on the planet, and you had to give them to the king. It was very bizarre, but so was Donut County, and it very much it was interesting. Not sure my cup of tea, but very interesting. But the Wipeout one caught me, and I'm like, yeah, there we go. And then of course, Medieval is getting remastered. If anybody remembers that from, I think the PS2 days, Medieval. So that's getting remastered.
Sounds about right.
I think so. That's getting remastered. Trying to think if there's anything else that was of heavy note. There's a VR extra piece coming to Last Guardian, and that's one of those games that I have still not gotten yet, but want to. So this might be a kind of a nudge that way. Let's see. And then I don't know how many people stayed up for the Game Over Greggy segment, the kind of funny game segment that came on after the main part of the PSX symposium was over. So, okay, Frankie's saying Medieval is PS1, not PS2. So, but another piece of information that might excite PSN owners, the famed change your PlayStation name might actually happen sometime during the year. So it might actually happen before next PSX.
Exciting times.
Yes. So
It's gonna steal E3 show.
oh my God,
You know,
that can't be the. That can't be it. That can't be it. So, I mean, you know, it's hard because there wasn't anything else of heavy note because of the type of show it was, but I enjoyed
There was
it.
for the fans. They had that pretty cool thing with Joel and Ellie playing music, right?
Yes,
That was pretty cool.
that was.
I mean, I'm not into it, but that's a cool thing to do for the fans.
Yep. But other than that, I mean, it was a sit down, and it was cool, and I enjoyed it. So, all right. Any other thoughts on that? And like I said, next week we'll have the bras on to give us the hands on. All right.
No, good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. The Game Awards happened the night before. The Jeff Keighley tribute to Hideo Kojima awards. So, and the F the Oscars guy awards. So,
train wreck.
Yeah. Oh my God, you could tell you could tell that Jeff was just come on, man, we got to go. No, can we cut the commercial? Can we?
Right.
Yeah.
Who's got the hook?
Right, security.
The big hook.
So,
I like that guy.
Well, what's funny is that the game that they're developing, A Way Out, actually is kind of appealing. But
yeah, no, I remember E3, the EA thing. That was one of my favorite things from their EA show. Was that A Way Out? It looks, something a little different, something kind of interesting. But that guy, what a train wreck!
Yeah,
I mean, like I ribbed Keighley a lot about, his man crush on Kojima and his, all that, and his general Soniness or whatever. Like, what was it? He was the one who was interviewing the ARC dev and kept saying, "Well, it's just like it's the same on the Pro, right? It's all the same on the Pro. It's the same on the Pro. On the Pro, it's the same." And the ARC dev's like, "No, really not." But so he is what he is. It's fine, no big deal. I will say this for Jeff: he's super passionate. He also has a vision of gaming as an elevated art form, and so it's easy to give Jeff a hard time about some stuff, but I can't knock his effort on the show. I think it was better than last year's. I didn't even watch the thing, but I got enough of it afterwards. It was a wife's birthday, so I was kind of preoccupied. But I mean, aside from being a little advertisement heavy,
if you look from where it was 4 years ago.
That's right. He is the guy behind Brother Tale of Two Sons, which is a pretty solid game. Definitely looking forward to that game. But what a train wreck! I mean, like, here's how many times did Jeff Keighley said that he wants to have something that's kind of like the Oscars of gaming, and this guy's over here, F the Oscars, the Oscars,
right?
Like,
then he started to say he was starting to get ready to rag on EA, and it was almost like Jeff had to whisper in his ear, "Dude, your game's coming out from EA."
Right. Yeah. Right.
So
well, it's that whole backlash culture that gaming has turned into that just.
I agree with that. I can't talk about it very much because I don't get into gaming politics and stuff because there's just too many people out there that are too emotional over it. So I don't. I just keep to myself. But yeah, there's some definite changes in gaming over the last 20 years, and things like that just tend to happen for that. I did like, by the way. So Zachary Levi gave out an award, and while he's opening the envelope, and he says, "I'm sorry, I have to insert. I have to buy this microtransaction to open the." And it's like a loot box, and I mean, he was really. It was. I can't remember exactly the joke, but it was. I laughed my ass off. That was really. It was very good and very well timed.
That's cute.
Yep.
So
he'll always be known as Chuck to me.
Yes, he will be Chuck. I can't remember anything else actually.
He's been in a few of the Marvel movies.
Has he?
Yeah. He had like bleached hair though.
Huh. All right. Well,
yeah, he was in Thor. That's what it was.
Yes. Okay. Yes, he was. But anyway. So, all right. But I mean, as a show goes, was it perfect? No. Did it run a little long? Yes.
I don't think it would if they started an hour earlier. I probably wouldn't have seen it as running long.
Well, the other problem they had was, they touted 8:30, and 8:30 was the pre-show. It didn't actually start until 9. Yeah. So it should have started at 8:30 when they said. But yeah, look, on the whole, I have to give Keighley a lot of credit. I mean, he's put this thing together, and he's got all these people to show up, and this is where people are doing world premiere trailers and announcing games, and you know, he's put this together, and I can't. You know, what can you say? I mean, this has become an event. It has become a big event for the gaming community, and they love it. So, all right. So all that said, we're gonna talk about the winners.
Oh, and
yes.
Sorry, one
No,
more
no.
thing before we start. I did look it up, and you can gift a game preview game.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep. So, for anyone who wanted to know that.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
Hint, hint. He says.
Hint, hint.
Right.
Right. Doesn't
wink,
one of
nudge,
those?
nudge.
Doesn't one of those come out?
Oh no,
Doesn't one
I'm
of those
actually
come out tomorrow?
gifting someone else a game. So continue.
One of those comes out tomorrow. Game
Tuesday.
preview game.
Tuesday.
Thought it was.
Oh.
Oh, what is today? The 10th. I'm off by 2 days. You're right.
No.
All right.
I have a pre-order from Best Buy. I think Peter's shipped from my store already.
So, all right. Here's what we're gonna do since we're at 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go through all the subcategories. Just give a quick moment of whether it deserved it, whether it didn't, what you think it should have been, yada yada yada. We'll try to go through these as fast as possible. I'll hold Game of the Year till the end, and we'll go from there. So, starting off was Best Narrative. And hang on, I'm going to bring it up. Best Narrative between Nier Automata, Hellblade, Suna's Sacrifice, Wolfenstein 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn. The actual winner was What Remains of Edith Finch.
Rock on. I'm all for that.
Never played.
I don't know yet. I have the game, but I have not played it.
Yeah, it tells stories. I think I said it. The way I framed it was, it's like playing an episode of that old show, Amazing Tales, or Amazing Stories. Was it?
Mm.
You remember the show, right, Mike?
Yeah, I remember it.
And it was like little vignettes and different things, and they were far out their stories. Not a little less dark than a Twilight Zone or whatever. And this kind of felt like that. It had these little vignette story things. I don't want to spoil any of it because it's all done really well. There are a couple like segments that really stand out for me, but yeah, it's hands down the best told story. The storytelling I really dug, so I was all for that.
Real quick, just Project Jeff said, I don't get why you guys didn't like the Joseph Ferris F the Oscars part. Probably because up until that point, my 13-year-old was watching the show.
And there's that.
In the pre-show, there was a trailer for a VR game that just started off letting loose F-bombs. And I'm like, guys, my 13-year-old's watching this. And yeah, I get it. In middle school, they're hearing this and that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm trying to protect him as much as I can.
Well, it's one thing to hear it in school.
Earmuffs.
Right.
It's one thing to hear it in school from your friends. It's another thing for parent-sanctioned cursing.
Well,
you know?
or some guy that's a game developer that's up there going, you know, F the Oscars, you know, and he's dropping the F-bomb and blah 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 blah. That's all fine and dandy if you want to do that somewhere else, but if you're trying to, you know, I'm trying to let my kid watch it, so that's the problem I had with it. His sentiment was fine. You know, this is a great show. This is where gamers should be. The sentiment was great, but I don't think I'm glad he went to bed before that happened, or there would be a lot of explaining I'd have to do. So, all right. That said, all right. So, What Remains of Edith Finch was Best Narrative, Best Art Direction. This was a no-brainer between Cuphead, Destiny 2, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Went to Cuphead.
Had to.
Well
Yep.
deserved. Yeah.
So, although in art direction, which is outstanding creative or technical achievement in artistic design and animation, I would have understood if Persona 5 won. Because that had a lot of the same style of Not this type of animation, but it had a style all of its own as well, which the Persona series has. This, however, just I there's nothing like Cuphead out there right now. So.
Oh yeah, no, there were definitely worthy nominees outside of Cuphead, but yeah, Cuphead's it's just amazing.
Yeah, Cuphead also. I'm gonna move down a little bit. Cuphead was nominated for a lot of categories, but it also won. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm scrolling down. It also won Best Independent Game. So Best Indie Game, and it was well deserved. And there was another one. It was a Best Debut by an Indie Game, and I think it won that as well. Best Debut Indie Game presented by Chic Hydro. So recognizing a new independent studio that released its first game in 2017, and that went up against Slime Rancher, Mr. Shifty, Hollow Knight, and Golf Story. So again, also good. I know you.
Golf Story.
Yeah.
Golf Story has a lot of buzz, and I love Slime Rancher.
Right, as I was gonna say, is just Slime Rancher was a big game for you. So, all right, so
yeah, anybody who got it on Games of Gold and has been sleeping on it, you really should give it a play. It'll be prepared to set some time into it because you'll get addicted. It'll happen.
Nice. All right, a surprise for me. Best Score and Music. So nominees were Nier Automata, or Autonoma, as I heard it said on the awards, Destiny 2, Cuphead, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, and Persona 5. The winner actually what? Oh, hang on. I want to make sure we don't have a faux pas here. Hang on.
What's a faux pas?
Well, I don't want to have a wardrobe malfunction on the background of the. This happens every once in a while where the mouse
must be one of those 70s sayings that I don't know.
The mouse won't click on the actual image, and I end up changing the background. I was just making sure I didn't do that. Okay, winner was Nier Automata.
That's for
best score or music.
They're all wrong. Prey should have won, but
Prey wasn't nominated.
Yeah.
I'd have thought Super Mario Odyssey would have gotten that one, but
I'm a little surprised it wasn't Persona.
Really?
I'm not a huge fan of the series, but I'm exposed. I love video game music. I've been exposed to the music, and some of it was featured, of all things, in a jukebox on one of my favorite Atlas games, Catherine. And so I heard some Persona music, and I was a little surprised.
Okay. I'm surprised that, Super Mario Odyssey and Cuphead were two games that, again, they were different. So, all right. Now, the other one, Best Audio Design. Now, this is Best In-Game Audio. So, also, Destiny 2, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey were nominated here, but also Resident Evil 7 and Hellblade. And the winner of that one was Hellblade. Any thoughts?
Got no experience with it. Can't really say.
Yeah, is it a PS exclusive?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't done it.
Yeah, I haven't played it.
Okay. I know Super Cooper loved it. Now, speaking of Hellblade, best performance for voice acting, Melina Juergens, or Juergens, I think is her name. Sorry if I said it wrong. As Suna, she beat out Laura Bailey, Claudia Black, Brian Bloom, and Ashley Birch. So she beat out both Nadine and Chloe, BJ Blazkowicz, and Aloy, and won best performance.
From what I understood, I haven't played it, but that actually doesn't surprise me a whole lot from what I've heard.
Yeah. Aloy didn't. She was good. Ashley Birch, Nadine was pretty good. in Uncharted. Brian Bloom was spectacular, in my opinion, in Wolfenstein. But I guess, again, Super Cooper would make the case for Melina in Hellblade, so I could see it. All right. Games for Impact. For a thought-provoking game with a profound pro-social meaning or message, Hellblade also won over Please Knock on My Door, Night in the Woods, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Bury Me, My Love, and What Remains of Edith Finch. So,
yeah, Finch. I really think Finch or Life is Strange could have taken that.
Yeah.
All right. Now this one was go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say, but I don't want to pass judgment on a game I haven't played.
Fair.
And I keep praising it, so we know it's good.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Hellblade didn't deserve to win or it's a bad choice. I just think that Life is Strange, from what I've played of it so far, could also have.
I'm trying to hold off until the third one comes out this month.
Well, that's just the 20th, so you ain't got long to go. And it's the second one is every bit as good as the first one.
And I'm glad that the strike is over, because the special episode, they're bringing back the original people.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay. I don't really miss Ashley Birch's performance as Chloe in the second one. I didn't find it to be a sticking point at all.
Oh, that's good. I was worried about that a little bit.
No, it's really good. Well, she's written. I'm not trying to dog Ashley by saying that. I mean, she's awesome, and she is a writer for it. So it's still her coming through in the writing.
Oh, okay.
Is why you don't miss it.
That's good.
All right. So one that I totally disagreed with. Best ongoing game. So awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Nominees in this were Warframe, Rainbow Six Siege, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2, PUBG, and the actual winner
should have been Grand Theft Auto.
See, I would have taken Grand Theft Auto, or I would have taken Rainbow Six Siege, considering that game is still charting.
Right.
But everyone's favorite, popular game, Overwatch 1.
That still doesn't make sense, though, to me. It's weird. I don't know.
I don't know how they've evolved the game.
That's the same reason with PUBG. There's been one map.
Right.
So they couldn't.
Rainbow Six Siege has had an entire season. They've got another season coming out. They continue to... they've put out maps. They've put out all kinds of stuff. Weapons and people. And I don't get it.
Siege is actually doing better now than when it started.
Oh, yeah.
So... I could see your point too.
It's a game. That's gotten better over time. Destiny 2 just came out.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, that would have been a bad pay.
Look, if Grand Theft Auto Online won, I wouldn't have faulted that either. That game has evolved immensely. I think more people are playing that than probably have. People are probably buying that just to play online and not even playing through the game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't understand Overwatch at all winning this.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's popular, but there's no way it's beating Grand Theft Auto or what you said, the Rainbow Six. I just don't see it.
No.
Who votes? Is it people or
it's people? Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really stupid. Sorry, people.
Yeah.
You're not stupid, I promise. Don't worry.
I didn't agree with it at all. No. Best mobile game went to a game called Monument Valley 2. It did beat out. I haven't either, but it did beat out Super Mario Run.
I hate those games.
Yeah,
that's the button jump.
Yeah. So, in the other handheld side for standard handheld games, this is not a surprise. Mario Sheamus Returns. Over Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Monster Hunter Stories, Ever Oasis, and Fire Emblem Echoes. Metroid, it's an unfair. Best VR AR game. So now this intrigues me as an upcoming VR person, and Peter as a owner of one. So nominees were Super Hot VR, Star Trek Bridge Crew, which I am actually interested in. Is that on PSVR?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested in that. I'm not gonna lie, in not a minute. Lone Echo and Farpoint, but the winner, which I can understand, Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Biohazard.
I think before Farpoint came around, that was pretty much considered like the killer app for the PSVR.
Yeah, this is what Peter says. Farpoint?
It's awesome.
No, I'm saying I think that was pre-Farpoint though.
Oh, pre-Farpoint. Okay. Well, yeah, because I remember seeing the demo at E3, and people were going gaga over it. So, that Super Hot VR, I know. I think Frankie played.
Yeah, I've played it too.
So
It's good. It's not my favorite.
I was wondering if Frankie was going to pick up that I said Seamus and not Samus.
I was going to let it go.
No, I wanted to see, because he was in the room. I wanted to see how long before he said something.
Not long.
Chills.
See, now I'm doing it. Now I get to do it on purpose just to see how long before he reacts to it. That's why I haven't said I was 2 seconds away from trying to throw a Kojima in there, but I held off.
He breathes for his Kojima?
All right, he did get me on Concrete Jungle though. I did totally whiff on that one. Concrete Genie.
Right.
So, by the way, what's up, Yorgi? He just entered. All right, best action game. Now this one I am glad for. Nominees included Prey, Neo, Destiny 2, and Cuphead. The winner was Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, and I am totally on board with that.
I still need to play it.
Oh my god, that game was insane. Just from start to finish. Just 100% adrenaline pushing, shoot everything. It didn't even have anything to do with killing Nazis. It just had to do with just blasting everything around you, and just there was no time to breathe. And then the story just went sideways. That's the best I can say. Frankie will tell you, for all of my ability to keep it from him, he was DMing me. Are you kidding? Did this just happen? Yeah. So anyhow, so yeah, that won best action game. So all right, best action adventure game. However,
Prey could have won that, by the way.
What action?
Prey.
Best action game.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna go back and play it at some point. I don't think Destiny 2 would have. I don't think. I mean, Cuphead you could make a case for, but there was still. I think Wolfenstein just had. It was just so crazy.
I need to play it. It's definitely on the to-do list. It's just I need it to come down a little further before I can pick it up.
From half price?
Yep. Not as a judgment of the game, just of the fact that I'm poor.
No, I hear you. All right, so best action adventure. So the difference is action game was listed as the best game in an action genre focused on combat. Action adventure is the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. So in amongst Uncharted Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn, the game that actually won was Zelda.
When they talk about it being focused on combat, I avoid so much combat in that game. Like, it's so much combat I avoid just because it's not necessarily worth breaking my weapons to get whatever's in the chest.
I I would have given it to Horizon. There was. Go ahead.
I would think as an action game, I would expect Horizon Zero Dawn to be better action than what I've experienced in Zelda.
I mean, there was. You had combat, traversal, and puzzle solving in all. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn was nothing but that. I mean, it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Go ahead, Peter. Why don't you take one of these?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it has all those ingredients and done it well.
Yeah, it just. I mean, we're between the two. Not what were they called? Not the two. They weren't tombs, but they were.
Yeah, you're talking about the shrines.
The shrines. Thank you. You know, those were puzzly. Traversal was definitely there, and combat was more than there. Yeah, that should have won over Zelda. That should have won over all of them. I mean, maybe Assassin's Creed Origins from the little bit that I've worked on. You know, Uncharted had there's a solid case too, but I would have thought Horizon Zero Dawn would have beaten all of them out. So, all right, best role-playing game, and I don't get enough of these in, and some of it's just time. So, actually, there were some good ones in here. South Park: Fractured But Whole, Final Fantasy 15, which I thought would have been the shoe-in, Divinity: Original Sin 2, Nier Automata, but the winner is Persona 5. And from what I understand, that's not a surprise or a bad choice either. It does remind me I had to get South Park, though.
Yeah, I can't say too much about it, but yeah, I mean, it's no, you can't really be wrong there, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, best fighting game amongst Tekken 7, Nidhogg 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and ARMS. I don't know. I guess. Winner there. Did I have the picture for it? Hold on. Yep. Winner there. No surprise. Injustice 2.
Yeah, I don't think Shadow of War got nominated for anything.
No, Shadow of War did not get.
Shadow War and Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. Well, Assassin's Creed got nominated for Action Adventure.
Oh, that's right. One nod. One nod.
One nod. Yep.
So, what category was this last one? The Injustice?
Fighting game.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a horse in this race.
I don't either, but Injustice 2 is one that I'd like to get at some point.
Isn't For Honor a fighting game?
Kinda, but it's
kinda.
But it's more third person.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of like I like to call it my Dark Souls Street Fighter love child. So it's got a little bit of that in it, but I don't know if you can.
Would you say it's the Dark Souls of fighting games?
I would not.
No, because in Dark Souls you can't go ha 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 ha.
And I mean, I would say it too, but ARMS was in there, so.
And
ARMS
is not a fighting game.
No, it's not. I mean, it is, but it is. I get what you know.
Not a fighting game.
So, all right, best family game, between Splatoon 2, Sonic Mania, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like every game in this category was Mario, but the obvious one, Super Mario Odyssey.
See, I would have gone with Kart, but
I might have gone with Sonic Mania only because there is couch co-op in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's okay. Best strategy game though, from XCOM 2, Tooth and Nail, Total War, Warhammer 2, Halo Wars 2. This one was weird. Best strategy game. Do I have it? Yes. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No.
Not over Halo Wars 2 or Total Warhammer.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cute. It looks like it's fun. I haven't had a chance to play it. It's got a really simplistic, strategy to it. Basically, hit chances are like 50%, 100%, 50% or none. So, like the big slam against Halo Wars 2 was it's not deep enough of an RTS for RTS fans, but this is. So, I don't know. I feel like Halo Wars 2 got jobbed there. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think, dude, I would make a case that everyone got jobbed. I mean, we're talking about games like XCOM and Total War as well.
Right.
So, all right, this one will make you happy. Best sports/racing game. No brainer amongst Project Cars 2, Pro Evolution Soccer 2008, NBA 2K18, GT Sport, and FIFA 18. But your winner is?
Could only be
FIFA 18.
Yeah. Well, it's Forza Motorsport 7.
Yep. Well deserved as well.
Yeah. So.
It really, I guess I've been playing Forza for many years, and I have not had the same kind of like tense, down to the wire, even like frustrating, but in that good way, almost that Dark Souls. This is the Dark Souls of racing. As I have in the single player modes for 7, it's just so great when you can do things like crank up the difficulty and give yourself the laps to do it clean and everything, and you have that amazing clean run in the race in the rain when the sun comes out at the end, and it's super epic. It's so great.
So, yep. So it's the winner there.
Yeah.
Chicken dinner.
Yep.
That's coming up Tuesday.
I was going to say, speaking of, so at the time, oddly enough, there was no winner right after the show. They didn't announce a winner for Best Multiplayer. And they hadn't actually announced the winner for multiplayer until, I don't know, at least yesterday, maybe? Because I didn't see it on Saturday. It was really weird. Fortnite, Call of Duty World War II, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Destiny 2 were in the nominations. But your winner, which I could see it, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah, it's weird that they didn't announce that one. Didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like they were afraid for riots or something.
That could be.
It didn't win Game of the Year, which would have caused more riots.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll get to that in a second, because we're almost there. Most anticipated game presented by McCafe. Red Dead Redemption 2, Monster Hunter Worlds, Marvel's Spider-Man, and God of War were on this list, but the actual winner, which I do understand considering the reception this game has gotten so far, not surprised and not upset by it, Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I can see it.
That is a lot of hype.
I like the first one, but I'm not, oh my gosh, need to jump out and get it.
Well, there are a lot of people that need to jump out and get this. So I mean,
I don't get is how Final Fantasy VII Remaster and Shenmue 3 aren't nominated for most anticipated still.
I don't think Shenmue 3 is as anticipated as you think anymore.
Shouldn't they be? I mean, because like that was the E3 of Dreams, man.
Yeah. Speaking of Dreams, we did get to see Dreams at PSX and the Video Game Awards. I forgot about that. Hey, I would like to address PlayStation fans. Don't make the same mistake that happened to Project Veritas, where they had a really cool project in what they were doing, and nobody supported it. Support Dreams. It's a neat idea, and it's another one of those create your own game kind of games. Yeah, don't let it become the next Project Spark.
Yeah,
because those of us
still ashamed at that.
Exactly, those of us who enjoyed messing with Project Spark suffered because of that. So, thanks Xbox fans. Anyway, that was my little soapbox for that. Anyway, best independent game we talked about was Cuphead. Yep. Best student game. This is kind of neat. the best game to come out of the high school or college level developer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the winner was a game called Level Squared. I literally could not find a picture of it. Sorry.
Nah.
So,
Nice.
I don't care about Trending Gamer. I don't know if you guys do.
Nope.
Best
I
esports.
thought that was trending.
Yeah,
No?
best esports game was Overwatch, which I think is nonsense because I have never turned on TBS and seen Overwatch as part of the esports stuff, whereas I have seen League of Legends, Rocket League, and Counter-Strike, CSGO. I mean, look, Overwatch, Rocket League, League of Legends, Dota 2, and CSGO, and you're telling me that Overwatch is the best esports game? No. Nonsense.
It's not on ESPN.
Nonsense. Best esports player, don't care. Best esports team, don't care. If you guys care about that, it's Faker for the best esports player and Cloud9 for the best team. We did best indie game, best debut indie game. That was Cuphead. And now we get to the final coup de grace, game of the year. This was a category of much contention because we had the favorite, which was Horizon Zero Dawn, which was one of my game of the year picks. We had Player Unknown Battlegrounds, which had it at won, people would have rioted. And in that, we also had Super Mario Odyssey and Persona 5. And I know a lot of people were also pushing for Persona 5. However, the actual game of the year for the 2017 Video Game Awards, Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
Wah, 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 wah.
No.
I don't know about all this.
I don't think it's that's right.
It just had too many flaws. It's not even close to the best Zelda. It's just I'm a little bit. I'm not. I think if I remember right on our kind of predictions, I think I said Mario. I was expecting Mario to take it. I do think Mario is a better game than Breath of the Wild at what it wants to do than what. One of my things is always how well does it do what it sets out to do compared to how other things do what they set out to do, and Mario does what it wants to do very, very well. The only real drawback I had with it was it makes you retread ground a lot. Yeah, I don't know about Zelda.
Would you have been okay with Underground, with Battlegrounds? Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I get the argument that it's a preview game. It's early access, so it's not released, so how can you count it? But on the other hand, you can't say it hasn't already had an influence on the entire industry, and it's ginormously popular for a reason. So there's that.
There are already other games trying to duplicate it.
To ride its coattails, right. Indeed. And I think if nothing else, the meltdown value would have been priceless because
yes,
because the day after, or the night of, whatever, all I heard on my timeline was, well, at least it's not PUBG because of whatever reason I'm going to say that's not. I was rooting against it because I think that's what Xbox fans are rooting for.
Yeah, I know they were, but you're right. You can't argue with the success that it's had on one platform,
right?
In early access.
Yep, you can't argue with that or its impact.
Right? Because Fortnite came along and tried to do the same thing.
And so, GTA is announcing a Battle Royale mode. There was just another one within the last day or two. Can't remember which one it was, but there was going to be another new Battle Royale.
I can see Ghost Recon doing that too.
Yep.
So, this is a game that I don't know. I mean, it's already made what, $15 million in revenue? I mean,
Yep.
it's sold over 15. Are we at 20 million? Yeah, I think we're over 20 million
Concurrent.
copies on the PC. Just on the PC, it hasn't even come out on a console yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so as of today, according to on November 7th, so a month ago, they had already sold 20 million copies of the game. And that's directly from PlayerUnknown's Twitter feed. 20 million copies of the game in early access. So, you know what? Do I understand the angst of, well, it's an early access game, and what does that mean going forward for games that are nominated? So, and maybe Game of the Year should not have an early access game. I can see that argument, but you also can't argue with the success that the game's had.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if you didn't put it on there with numbers like that, that's sad. Just because it's an early release.
I don't know that sales is the metric I want to.
No, I mean
really.
the concurrent users though. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking about that part. If
Yeah,
people
but I said
are
I see
playing,
both arguments.
Well, no, and you're right. Sales by itself, I get that. But it's the total package of the thing. We're talking about the sales of an early access game. We're
Yep.
talking about, and you know, look, again, Fortnite was the first one out of the gate to do an exact same mode. I mean, you're and Fortnite's a free to play game, right? The Battle
Yep.
Royale mode
The
is?
Battle Royale mode is, yeah.
Right, so the Battle Royale mode is free to play. It's on multiple platforms, and Battlegrounds is still outperforming it on one platform. So, I mean, it's not like Ark. Like Ark would not have been nominated last year as Game of the Year, right?
Right.
But
Yep.
this is an anomaly. This is probably something that isn't going to happen again for a while.
Well, Ark wasn't starting a genre, like, and I know that it's not entirely PUBG, like Arma, DayZ, all that came before it too. But just like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 wasn't the first heads-up fighting game in the arcade, but it was the one that launched the genre.
Absolutely.
And no one can argue that Street Fighter 2 is the iconic fighting game. I shouldn't say Street Fighter 2, but Street Fighter is the iconic IP. Even if 5 is a dumpster fire, but
No, I agree. I completely agree with that. Street Fighter 2 was a finished product too.
right.
So, but I mean, and Frankie says it best in the chat room. Fortnite wasn't even relevant until they did that.
PUBG. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm I wouldn't have rioted it if it had won, but I understand the I don't know. I understand the desire, the desire for a game in early access maybe not to be Game of the Year. So, but we don't have to worry about it because Zelda won.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and so those are the video game awards. Like I said, overall, good show. I think it's as always with this, it's probably still a work in progress as far as things they'll tweak for next year. But like maybe curbing some of the language. But and I thought by the way, I thought the orchestra was pretty cool too. Those string players up front, man. That cello, that upright bass player.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole separate thing. Anyway. All right. So, on to the next. Oh, before we do get to Juan's Retro Rec, real quick, and I did not get I didn't get an image for it because it was just really, really late. But right before, like an hour before the show, maybe 2 hours before the show, there was an announcement from Capcom. Speaking of Street Fighter,
big announcement,
Yeah.
that the 30th anniversary Street Fighter edition has been announced by Capcom for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And hang on a second, I'm going to bring it up because I meant to bring it up earlier while we were talking about the Video Game Awards. I did not get it. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to. But this has 12 games from the... Here we go. It's got 12 games. I can't. They're not all listed here. I'd have to watch the video, but
I put a picture in the Discord.
Oh, did you? Well, hang on then. So while we're talking about it, so this is huge because this is like, and this also includes Street Fighter 1, the original, which I have actually played. I mean, I've played that in the arcade. Yes, and Mega Man 11 was announced too, by the way.
Yep, Capcom on a little bit of a roll there. Although I'd be mad, honestly, if I had paid the price they wanted for Ultra Street Fighter 2 on Switch before this came out, I don't know that I'd be really happy about that.
No?
Well, what did they want? They wanted like full price for the
True.
For the Ultra Street Fighter 2, and it was cool and all, but this obviously blows it away for $40.
It does. And hang on a second, I'm about to bring it up. Thank you. I did pull it out of the Discord. Ooh. All right, so where are you? There you are. Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. So it's so I'm sorry. Let me go down because it looks like it's going top to bottom and then right to left. So Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, which is the version that came out on the Genesis.
Yep.
Street Fighter Hyper Fighting, Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers, Turbo, Alpha, and I kind of liked Alpha. Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Street Fighter 4, Second Impact, and Third Strike. So you get all of that, plus you get some concept art, some it's like the museum mode, that kind of thing. So all good stuff and $40. So
yeah, I was kind of hoping when I saw the show the first time they're going to sneak EX in there too because it's such an oddball game in the lineup. But if you remember that one,
right,
the 3D side, the 2.5D or whatever. Yep. But yeah, super stoked for this. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan of the old school games. 4 was okay. I played 4. I liked 4, but it's never been better for me than like Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Turbo. Those are my favorites. But to have them all and the original for $40, it's an absolute no-brainer for me.
And me too.
And 4 of these, not all of them, but 4 of them, and I'm hung if I can remember which 4 they are. I want to say it's like Super Street Fighter 2 or Super 2 Turbo, Alpha, and maybe Third Strike. I can't remember which 4 they were, but 4 of them have online multiplayer.
Yes. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. It is Hyper Fighting, Turbo, Third Strike, 2 Turbo, Alpha 3, and Third Strike.
Yep.
That's going to be rocking.
Yeah, I was bugging Phil. I was like, let me get my man Phil, and I say, Phil, we need crossplay for PC and Switch and Xbox on this because we need to open up those battlegrounds. We need some knockdown, drag out crossplay.
Yeah. I mean, I spent a lot of time on Street Fighter 2 at the arcade before Mortal Kombat came out, and then I completely switched over to Mortal Kombat. But I worked at now it's, of course, GameStop, but it used to be Electronics Boutique, and before that it was Games and Gadgets. I worked at Electronics Boutique during the Super Nintendo, during the 16-bit wars. So I was there when Street Fighter 2 came out for the SNES, and then I was there when Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition came out for the Genesis. And you talk about fans and craziness. That was a crazy time in the 16-bit wars. Was when Street Fighter came out. So,
of course, you had to have it on the Super NES. It was the better platform for it because it came with you didn't have to get another controller to have a. Because if you were playing with the standard Genesis controller, you wanted to do the 6 buttons. You had to use the start button and switch between, which just didn't flow as well.
No,
to play.
It did not.
They did quickly get a 6-button controller out, which was fine for it, and it played well, but it just wasn't quite.
But I'll tell you though, the 6-button controller, what it did that kind of made the SNES version tough is you had the triggers that were one of your buttons, whereas the 6-button Genesis controller was the 3 and the 3. So it kind of made it more of the arcade layout. So
that was definitely something you had to prioritize. I wasn't as good with the bumpers as I was with the buttons. So and forever, even to this day, I still use the same layout unless I'm for a Street Fighter game is my all 3 of my punches are buttons of the 4, and then my light kick is my B button, and medium and heavy on the bumpers.
So
every time
this is going to be the reason that I get my adapters for my X Arcade stick.
Right.
I got this a long time ago when I was this is at least this stick is at least 15 years old. And on the back of it is a port, and you use adapters to hook it up to the various consoles. So I have an adapter for the PS2, I have an adapter for the original Xbox, I have an adapter for the GameCube, and these have actual arcade parts in it.
Yeah.
This I got originally from X Arcade as a review copy, as a review stick. And X Arcade makes a ton of great stuff, but I've always held on to this thing, and I haven't used it in years. And I do remember asking them, "Hey, is there an adapter for these older sticks for the PS4 and Xbox One?" And they said, "Well, yeah, it's totally. See, we haven't really changed the design very much, so it's totally compatible." So this game may entice me to go back and pick up the adapter for this to make it work nicely.
Yeah,
because this has the layout. So
super stoked about the collection, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Street Fighter when I liked it, awesome.
No doubt. Okay, so Street Fighter, and it's coming out in May, by the way.
Yep.
So, all right, now it's time to get to our final segment. Always my favorite. See as it kicks over. The Retro Rec.
Yep. Thank you.
Can we get it fired up?
Yeah. Okay, so you can go ahead and kick it off. Today we're going to go back to 1989 on the Nintendo Entertainment System with Dragon Warrior from the Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior line of games. It was developed by Chunsoft, who were founded in 1984. They merged with Spike in 2012, who was comprised largely of former staff members from Human Entertainment, which of course was behind my Michael Andretti racing game, earlier rec. They were famous for Dragon Warrior Mystery Dungeon, the Danganronpa series, also as Spike Chunsoft. Published by Enix in Japan, Nintendo in North America. Nintendo, of course, founded in 1889 as a playing card company, and we could do a whole rec on just that, so I'm going to skip over that a little bit. but they did try several other ventures before making gaming electronics. A lot of people may not know they had a taxi service, a TV network, a food company, and a love hotel chain. They're still one of the world's largest video game companies by market capitalization. So the gameplay here for Dragon Warrior is it's a single-player role-playing game, so it's what everybody wants nowadays. And the player takes control of a hero character tasked with rescuing a princess from the evil Dragon Lord. At the start of the game, King Lorik informs the player he's the descendant of the legendary warrior Erdrick. In Legends, Erdrick fought demons with a ball of light, and the ball's radiance had protected the realm and kept winners away, and it was stolen by the Dragon Lord, and of course the Dragon Lord has also stolen the king's daughter and locked her in a cave with a dragon. The gameplay largely consists of moving from area to area and speaking to NPCs to get clues and about where the next location to go is, where to find things within the game you need. Careful attention has to be paid to what they say, or else you could be wandering around for a long period of time. There's not a whole lot of hand-holding. The towns contain shops where you can sell or buy weapons and armor, helpful items, and inns that you can rest at to restore hit points and magic points. As you move through the world outside of the cities and dungeons, random encounters occur. The frequency varies by terrain, so on open plains it won't happen as often, but in the hills you'll see a lot more bad guys. The battles are turn-based and from first-person perspective. During combat, players have 4 options to fight, run, spell, or item, and the combat continues until either the player or the enemy is dead or has fled. The combat is basically all RNG with your stats. It's kind of like playing a tabletop game in that way. There's die rolling going on that you're not seeing, and that's what the developer is trying to get across, was to bring something like a tabletop game experience to consoles for the first time, because that hadn't really been done. In the overworld, there's actually no physical barrier to get almost anywhere in the game except for the last dungeon. So it's actually a really open world, one of the early open world games, but you're limited by the fact that enemies in different areas will own your face if you go there too soon. Kind of like a Dark Souls, so it could be the Dark Souls of old RPGs. But with the bridges, every time you cross a bridge in the game, you go into a tougher area of bad guys. That's your little cue that you're heading into a nastier area. And the enemies themselves provide the barrier to world until you reach a certain level of strength or acquired certain weapons. As you gain experience and gold via combat, your level increases and your stats and magical abilities improve, and you can of course use the gold to buy better equipment, which enables you to then travel further and open up new plot points and visit dungeons and things like that. One kind of interesting thing about how the game worked back then is the North American version was different. It actually came out 3 years later than the Japanese version, and it allowed a couple of really kind of big changes, like the Japanese version used a password system for saving, and the North American version had a battery backup. Alright, so you could do a save without the tedious password thing. One kind of hitch to the save is that the castle at which you start, Antigel Castle, is the only location in the whole game that you can save. So if you do wander afield and make a bunch of levels or something, you have to come all the way back home and talk to the king to do your save, and if you don't, then you lose half your gold, or if you don't want to do that, the hours you've lost, or the time. So it's kind of one of the first games with a big death penalty too. Rather substantial setback when you die, which is something that they want to incorporate to give that fear, to put that excitement into the game as your text goes red because you're badly wounded. Oh my god, am I going to lose the time? As it goes by today's standards, the gameplay was kind of simple, but it was mostly by design because the developer really wanted to bring role-playing gaming elements to a wider audience and scene. Little other knickknacks about the differences in the version. In the American version and North American version, spells were giving a simple one-word descriptive name like hurt instead of made-up Japanese words. The dialogue was rewritten to be more Elizabethan, so thou, thy, thine, all that. Graphically, the sprites were increased in size and given different facings. In the Japanese version, they only looked at you. There wasn't turning or all the sprites always forward. And of course, as I mentioned, the largest difference is probably the battery backup. It was extremely popular in Japan when it came out. It didn't really fare all that well in North America. It was kind of just different from everything that had been on the market. It debuted at 7th in Nintendo Power's top 50 ranking. Climbed as high as 5th. It was nominated, but lost the Best Theme and Best Overall in the 1989 Nintendo Power Awards. The English version was not considered a commercial success, although it was used in a highly successful bundle offer with Nintendo Power Magazine, which is how I got mine. My folks had decided to gift me that subscription to the magazine, and it came with this game, which is how I got introduced to it. And actually, that interviews later, people at Nintendo Power revealed that there was a really, really successful campaign in doing that, and it basically got what was, 100+ page advertisement for Nintendo products in a whole lot of homes. So that was highly profitable. GameSpot named it as one of the 15 most influential titles in gaming history, and again, it's kind of historically significant because of introducing RPG gaming to so many players. It's readily available online. You can get a copy of the place usually for single digits, $5 to $10. And I think it makes it a pretty decent deal if you want to collect a part of gaming history. Although non-sadomasochists may opt to experience it on like the Game Boy Color port, or even the Super NES port, because there's some pretty significant quality of life improvements to the grind chart, the way that works. But if you want the full fat historical, kind of groundbreaking game, doing it on the NES is the way to go. So I'm kind of a big fan of the game, despite its kind of age and warts. It's one that I really love. And like I said, it was a big introduction to me to role-playing game. I hadn't played anything, but this predates Final Fantasy, and just not a lot like it. It had the progression. You could have, say, Mario or Mega Man, but they didn't really progress over time in the same way. So it really stood out in my memory, and that's why it's going to be this week's retro recommendation.
Awesome as always. Now I tell you what I enjoy about the way Nintendo, and to an extent the Master System and consoles of that era. If you listen to the music in that game, as you were talking about, it was very well done, very melodic, but also very had harmony in it. It had multiple channels. It was, they did what they could do as best they could do with the chipset they had at the time. But
they had to for something like this, because it wasn't anything like the action that you would have on screen from like a Mario or a Metroid, that kind of fast acting. So the music plays a large role in something like that for setting the tone.
Yeah, but I mean, just the style of the music, I guess. Not so much, maybe not so much the style, but from a technical standpoint, what it can do, what you do with those 4 channels of sound,
Right.
that kind of thing. So.
Oh yeah, they did real magic back then with that.
Yeah, very much so. So, all right. I believe we have covered pretty much everything to cover tonight, unless anybody has anything else.
Oh, I wanted to mention that due to schedule changes and things I'm going to be dealing with in the next few weeks, probably going to be the first of the year before I get back to trying to hold race nights for Forza.
Yeah, that's fine, and we'll figure that out as we go. And for scheduling, speaking of scheduling purposes, next week, which again I'm hoping that we will have the PlayStation Bras on with us. Next week will be our final show of the year, because the following 2 Sundays are Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So while I don't celebrate Christmas, we are taking my wife to Williamsburg for her birthday.
Nice.
So we'll be out that week, and then nobody's gonna listen to us on New Year's Eve. So, but
We should do a
we
short one.
we could do something special New Year's Eve for those who don't party and stuff. We could do some sort of game night. I mean, maybe we'll think of something.
That's what I was thinking, because I
I'm not
also
going to
have
be
that
very
thing.
sober.
I still have that thing to give away.
No
I still have the
worries.
thing that giveaway.
So, that's right.
So we can do that on New Year's Eve or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have a giveaway too.
All right. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. But as far as ooh, very nice.
It's the if you have the GT Sport, this is the limited edition code.
Nice. So next week will be, for all intents and purposes, our last show of the year. When we come back in January, we've got some things cooking. We're going to have a very special guest on. We're going to have one of those Sundays, which the 4 of us have to talk about, and if Frankie wants in on this, will be an earlier in the day show to accommodate the time zone of the guest we're going to have on. And I'm not going to spoil it just yet, but it's going to be a very nice guest. We are also going to, I know Frankie was asking about the WFC crew. We had started to, I thought I had started to talk to Fastback about it. Otherwise, this is going to be news to him. We were hoping the first weekend in January we'd get them to come on with us to do a Games of the Year, our own Game of the Year awards show. And then from there, there's a couple of conversations that some of us are having in the community about, folks with various podcasts getting together and doing some stuff. So we're going to start kind of really ramping some things up, and trying to look at our streaming too, and seeing what we can do with that, and seeing what we can, get some.
Well,
more
we're going to need to
content
put something together for Game of Thrones. Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yes. I can't wait till that thing goes in beta and we can actually talk about the damn game.
Yep.
So.
Have you been in for the small ships? Because
Yes.
they've shown that, so I'm going to go ahead and mention them. But I think the small ships are amazing for the game. I think that does really great things for the game.
It's just a game changer for them.
Hmm.
I said this, and it's all I could say. It changed my perception of the game, and I think it made it, one of those where if you asked me about the game before and you asked me about the game after, I'd have 2 different opinions of it. So, so Nova the Mighty, who's in our chat room, I know it has not been on purpose, dude, but he has a Philips CDI, and he's been dying to show us his CDI. So, unfortunately, I'm the only one in Maryland, man. So, we'll have to figure something out. Maybe figure out how to get you to record some footage. We'll figure something out. But also, if you have not checked it out, Frankie mentioned this earlier. Last week I was on JD's Play and Listen podcast, and we talked Sega music. And Frankie did not know that the original Next Level Gaming, or back then Next Level Gaming, was actually a play on Sega's Welcome to the Next Level. Because before that, I was a giant Sega fanboy, and I wrote for a Dreamcast website before Sega went into its 20-year spiral into hell. So once we decided to go multi-platform and create another website, Next Level Gaming was sort of the, hey, we could take this from Welcome to the Next Level, and so that's where that happened. So, but JD and I are going to get together again very soon, because the 6 or I think we went through 7 songs on the first one that just scratched the surface of music in that Sega CD, Sega Saturn era. And there's just so much good music that came out of those consoles that we're gonna have to do a second, third. We'll get to like episode 45 of the Sega Play and Listen, and we'll still have stuff to talk about. So, and JD, man, if you guys don't check out his podcast, you got to check out his show, because it's unique and something different than anything else going on out there. And
yeah, he puts on a good show even when I'm on it. Yeah, like, it's amazing what he does. He's so good at it.
But you and your video game music knowledge too. I mean, it's a natural for it. I know Frankie gets on there and they talk soundtracks and stuff, but it's a fantastic show, and it's something different, and I love it. So I'm looking forward to getting back on and talking some more Sega music with him. So, all right, we got anything else before we call it a night?
I don't think so.
Peter?
No.
All right.
Oh, one thing, a game that I've been playing a lot is Everybody's Golf. And I believe it's on sale again at Amazon or one of those sites.
I have it
for $20. It's a good golf game. It's a lot of fun.
We should definitely have an NLG golf night sometime.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to put together more opportunities to play with the people who grace us with their presence in the chat room. So, like, if anybody's up for something, like, we could put together like a KI night or something cooperative like Gears or whatever. So feel free to hit me up on Twitter if there's something you think we can put something together with. Obviously, Sea of Thieves is coming, but
yep.
Yeah.
PUBG.
Yeah, that would be one. Ghost Recon.
PUBG.
Yeah.
Siege.
And I think Anchor just got
Wildlands, yeah.
Oh, Frankie will be on this week. Good. So Frankie will be on our last show. Oh, Frankie will be on JD's show, it looks like. Oh, Frankie's on this week's Play and Listen. Frankie can't be on with us until after the first of the year because of how busy he is. So, all right. So, once again, thank you to everybody in the chat room. This is awesome stuff, and you guys, as always bring it. Sorry I didn't get a chance to really type as much in there tonight. I had to kind of man all the images and things, so I didn't get a chance to interact as much as I wanted to. But we love you. Once again, I should have some. I'll be able to give my thoughts hopefully next show on PSVR. And I can't one more time. Just want to thank the PlayStation Bras for their generosity in giving away the headset and or the helmet, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to hopefully them being on next week. So I will I'll call it here. Everybody have a great week. For those of you,
one more thing.
Oh, what you got?
The new Ready Player One trailer came out today, so all our video game fans should watch that.
You know what I saw it. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
So good.
You said Jumanji was good.
Oh yeah, I love Jumanji too.
This could be one of the times that the remake is better than the original. The original was so hokey and horrible. But I'm kind of looking forward to
My
this.
mom said the same thing. I know I'm talking about my mom again, but she said that it was better than the original. So
Yeah, I would imagine. So now is it a remake or is it a sequel?
it's a sequel because they touch on the original game too. So I won't give that away.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. That should do it. So, my fellow kinsmen. Tuesday night is Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to our Jewish listeners, our Jewish viewers. I will eat a latke for you myself. I am looking forward to it. No, unfortunately, Switch is now out of the question. We were looking at it, and I'm gonna have to wait and get a Switch later. So, but
You got your VR.
I got my VR, so that's my Hanukkah gift for this year. So happy.
There you go.
Yep. So anyway, everybody have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday. And play on, gamers.
Game on.
Peace out, everybody.